Monday morning. Thank you for choosing us to start your day with. Across the next hour, we're going to tell you all of the country's top stories. The first story, a development that took place over the weekend. Gangster Deepak alias Tinu. He was an accused in the Punjabi singer Sidhu Moosewala's murder case. He was also a close aide of the jailed gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. He fled from the custody of the CIA unit of the Mansa police over the weekend. Deepak was being brought to Mansa on remand from the Kapurthala jail. He was one of the accused who planned Moosewala's murder. The last conversation between him and gangster Lawrence Bishnoi happened on the 27th May, and the 29th of May, when Sidhu Moosewala was murdered, is the date 2 days later. Now, the Punjab police has launched a search operation as we speak in the state to nab the gangster. Meanwhile, Moosewala's mother has accused the Aam Aadmi Party government of inefficiency. We'll take a deeper look at what the families had to say in response. Opposition parties also are making similar claims on the AAP government and its work over the last few months. Very quickly, first, we're starting the day by taking you to hear what the lawyer for Deepak Tinu had to say. Take a look.
माइंड सेट है कि ये दिखाया जाएगा कि वो वहां से एक दूसरी जगह पे जाके छिपा हुआ था और हमने उसको वहां पे पकड़ने की कोशिश की. उसने ऑपोजिट फायरिंग की और हमने उसका एनकाउंटर कर दिया. ये एक प्लान स्टोरी है जिसके तहत कॉन्स्पिरेसी के तहत पंजाब पुलिस ये पूरा फंक्शन ऑपरेट कर रही है. मैं अपने इस वीडियो के थ्रू पंजाब पुलिस को एक मैसेज फ्लैश करना चाहता हूं कि आप कोई भी इस प्रकार की कॉन्स्पिरेसी मेरे क्लाइंट दीपक टीनू पे केस करने की कोशिश ना करें. मैं इसके खिलाफ पंजाब एंड हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट के अंदर में एक रिट पिटीशन फाइल करने वाला हूं जिसका जवाब पंजाब पुलिस को देना पड़ेगा. मैं आपके चैनल के थ्रू ये मैसेज एंटायर पंजाब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को और पंजाब पुलिस को कहना चाहता हूं कि बी अवेयर, मेरे क्लाइंट दीपक टीनू के साथ कोई मिसहैपनिंग करने की कोशिश ना की जाए.
ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਹਾਲ ਤੱਕ 4 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਸਨ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਨਕੰਮੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹੈ. मैं उदे भी अगर जिधर चुगदी गया उदे भी मैं ही कहा सी अज भी मैं ही कहनी दुबारा नकम्मी सरकार है जी काम के मुद्दे अमल तक ध्यान ही नहीं दे रही. होर ही पासे चलते पे ने. बस भी मेरी छोटे पूरे ही हाथ जोड़ के बेनती है भी हुण आपां नूं इकट्ठे होने की जरूरत है. आपां इकट्ठे होवांगे असीं WhatsApp नंबर जारी करांगे जिहड़े किसी वीर भैन भरा ने किते कैंडल मार्च कराउणा अगले शहर च अपने जिले च वो साडे नाल संपर्क कर लो.
मान के लिए 42 गाड़ियों का कॉन्वॉय. वीवीआईपी आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के लिए पंजाब पुलिस की सुरक्षा. परंतु जो व्यक्ति मूसेवाला हत्याकांड में शामिल था, मुख्य आरोपी के रूप में दीपक टीनू, जो बिश्नोई गैंग का सदस्य है, वो पंजाब पुलिस की गिरफ्तार से फुर हो जाता है, भाग जाता है और पंजाब पुलिस कुछ नहीं कर पाती. ये दिखाता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी दरअसल गैंग्स और माफिया पर क्रैकडाउन नहीं कर रही, उनको समर्थन दे रही है. आज जब से आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार पंजाब में आई है, तब से आए दिन किसी ना किसी बड़े हत्या का, क्रिमिनल इंसिडेंट का वाकया सामने आता है.
कि ये जो अमीर आदमी पार्टी है उसको गिमिक करना आता है. शासन चलाने के लिए जो सीरियसनेस होनी चाहिए वो नहीं है. सबके लिए चिंता का विषय है. पंजाब हमारा बॉर्डरिंग स्टेट है और वहाँ पे गिमिक नहीं चलता है. आप देखते हो कि जिस तरह से पहले सिक्योरिटी के नाम पे गिमिक किया और एक अच्छा युवा आर्टिस्ट भी, एक कलाकार भी, एक नेता भी पंजाब ने गंवा दिया. अमीर आदमी पार्टी को इधर उधर हाथ पांव मारने की बजाय पंजाब में शासन दिया है लोगों ने, तो वहाँ पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना चाहिए.
All right, we actually have some breaking news coming in exactly this story. Over the weekend, when we'd first broken this news to you, a question a number of audience members to had asked us, how did this escape take place? CNN News 18 now brings you the inside scoop, which is essentially all the details of how that escape actually took place that we do have. According to police sources, he absconded with a complete plan. He escaped in the middle of the night. So this is the night between Saturday and Sunday. It's widely believed about early Sunday morning, 5 a.m. is around when he possibly left. He was lodged in a guest house instead of a lockup. And we're also learning that the in-charge, Preetpal Singh, aided in his escape. But to what degree he did, we'll try to bring more details. But Preetpal Singh is currently also arrested. Now, let's go over to my colleague Anshul for more details here. Anshul, I think a rather interesting fact when it comes to the entire story around Tinu is that according to a lot of reports, Tinu has escaped once in the past too, I believe in 2017, from the Haryana police custody. Could you bring us more context and also tell us about what took place over the weekend?
So yes, Tinu has been one of the notorious criminals in this entire gangster circle that we see operating, especially in North India. Now, the incident that happened yesterday definitely raises a lot of questions, because as we were discussing yesterday itself, that he already has many cases, a case of Makoka against himself, that has been registered by the Delhi Police Special Cell, which meant that he was already in cahoots with people from inside the jail, and he was already operating from inside the jail as well. And that is the reason why what we saw happen yesterday, that the in charge of the CIA, Crime Investigating Agency of the Punjab Police, has been suspended because he himself brought Tilu from Kapurthala to Mansa, and he brought him in. Instead of bringing him in a security laden vehicle, he was brought in a private car, and these are the few of the reasons that a lot of suspicions were raised that in fact his escape was actually aided by the people of Punjab Police, and that is the reason why we are seeing that the in charge of the CIA has already been suspended, and in fact has been arrested by the police in aiding and abetting the escape of Tinu as well. So yes, it remains to be seen when he'll be produced in the court, what he has to say in front of the court as well as of now. But yes, the situation that has arisen has brought a lot of shame to the Punjab government, because remember, they have already been on the back foot about the kind of law and situation that has deteriorated in Punjab since the Aam Aadmi Party has come to the power. So yes, in the next few hours we are going to get more details as to what does the NIA in charge, CIA in charge has to say in front of the police and in front of the court as to how did Deepak Tinu, one of the most dreaded gangster and one of the gangster who is generally a kind of gangster who is generally put in high security, because he is a A-list gangster. He is generally put in high security, and the kind of travel or that is mandated to take for such high level criminals is definitely in the protocol, and that protocol was not followed. What were the reasons that protocol was not followed is definitely a big questions, and definitely raising a lot of questions on the Punjab police and the Punjab administration as well, Toya.
Just tell our audiences more context, please, about who Deepak Tinu is and why he matters, particularly in the Moosewala case. If you could just give us more context there also.
So yes, Deepak Tinu was one of the co-accused in this entire case. He is said to be one of the closest aide to Lawrence Bishnoi, and he is actually the allegations against him is that he actually planned the entire murder of Sidhu Moosewala, and in fact he was giving daily reports to Lawrence Bishnoi. Now the last conversation between Lawrence Bishnoi and Deepak Tinu happened on the 27th of May, and on the 29th of May Sidhu Moosewala was killed. So yes, after a long chase, Tinu was finally arrested from an area in Punjab, especially near Kapurthala, and it was in Kapurthala where he was launched by the Punjab police. Now the CIA took that remand from Kapurthala and was bringing him to Mansa to interrogate him, and while he was being brought to Mansa, they stayed over in a guest house, and it is said that from there he managed to escape while the CIA in charge was still with him.
Okay, all right. Anshul, thank you so much for those details. Thank you for bringing us more context on the story of Deepak Tinu. For our audiences, we'll continue to bring you details on the story through the day. Right now, I believe we have some breaking news that we're actually going to move to. All right. As you already know, we're right in between Navratra as we speak. And the next report is a rather unfortunate report actually coming into us from Uttar Pradesh. Developments that took place late yesterday, where you had more than 40 people suffer burn injuries as the Durga Puja Pandal caught fire in the Bhadohi district of Uttar Pradesh. The death toll has reached 3 currently in the Pandal fire. I believe a 12-year-old boy, a 10-year-old boy and a 45-year-old woman have all died. These are the details we've got from the DM already of the entire district. This is in specific the Aurai town of Uttar Pradesh's Bhadohi district. And I'd like to just bring you a few more details, because what took place immediately after is that those who were suffering from burn injuries were taken to BHU, the Banaras Hindu University Trauma Center in Varanasi. They are believed to be in critical condition still though. This entire incident took place actually quite close to a police station at around 9:30 p.m. in the night. It appears that a short circuit was the main cause of the fire, but investigations are still ongoing. Now, my colleague, our Uttar Pradesh Bureau Chief, Pranshu Mishra, is with us right now to tell us more details. Pranshu, we were just sharing with our audiences that prima facie, I know that police have informed the media, for example, that a short circuit appeared to possibly be the cause of the fire. But what details do we have since? Do we know if the pandal was following proper safety precautions?
Well, any Durga Puja pandal which is set up, so the existing orders are that they can't be set up without getting the due NOCs from the concerned department. So in the first place, it is almost very clear that this Durga Puja pandal had come up after getting due clearances from the concerned authorities, from the local police, from the administration. The second point, that what is the cause of fire? So it prima facie does seem that it could be a cause of short circuit, because we all know that a lot of lightning is done, music system is installed there, and probably there was some loose wire because of which this short circuit took place, in which 3 people, including a 12-year-old child, lost his life, and around 64 people have been left injured. Many of them have been rushed to the Varanasi's medical college, where of course you have better medical care facilities. But to determine the exact cause of fire, that whether it was actually short circuit or it was something else, there hasn't been a society that has been constituted by the orders of the district magistrate. This society will conduct its report, and only then we can with certainty say that what was the exact cause of fire. But prima facie, keeping the circumstances in mind, it seems that most likely the cause of fire was a short circuit.
Okay, Pranshu, if you could bring us more updates now on the status of those who survived. I believe they were taken immediately to the Banaras Hindu University Trauma Center, but if you could bring us more details.
Yes. 3 people have been confirmed dead. This includes a 12-year-old child, one 45-year-old woman, and another person. 64 people, they have been said to be injured, out of which around 30-35 people are said to be critical. All of them have been shifted to the Banaras Hindu University BHU Hospital, which is in fact a medical college, and the treatment is going on there. So far, there is no more update about anyone under treatment losing life, but officers are keeping a close watch on the situation. So as of now, the total tally of injured and death stands as 3 people dead and around 64 people injured in this unfortunate incident happening in Badauri last night.
Okay. Pranshu Mishra, thank you so much for bringing us those details. For our audiences, we're going to move on from that story. That's an update coming in from Uttar Pradesh. Now we're taking you to Jammu and Kashmir, where a policeman was killed and a CRPF Jawan was injured when militants attacked a security forces team in the Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday. The attack comes just ahead of a high-profile visit of the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah. Shah's trip to Jammu and Kashmir is scheduled to begin tomorrow. But the former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, the PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti, has had a particularly strong reaction. She's accused the BJP once again of dividing and creating rifts between 2 communities. We'll bring you a little bit more context to how this is related to the larger story. Mufti has said that the BJP is trying to build a rift between the Gujjar and the Pahari communities in the region. She made these comments while addressing a rally, and part of why these comments are so important is because while Mufti is making these statements, Home Minister Amit Shah is likely to announce the scheduled tribe status for the Pahari community, while the Gujjars already enjoy that ST status. So that's why those 2 communities are in our focus. Take a look first at what Mehbooba Mufti had to say.
कई दिनों से आप जानते हैं पीर पंचाल में बहुत टेंशन चल रहा है। जब से पहाड़ियों को लेके होम मिनिस्टर के आने के शेड्यूल ट्राइब की बात चल रही है, भाई का दुश्मन हो गया है। एक ही माँ के 2 बेटे हैं और एक दूसरे के खून के प्यासे हो गए हैं, और ऐसा आपस में लड़ाया जा रहा है इनको कि जैसे ये लोग जो सदियों से इकट्ठे रहते आए हैं, खाते पीते इकट्ठे, इनकी रिश्तेदारियां हैं। आपका कलमा एक है, आपका मजहब एक है, आपके रहने वाले एक जगह के हो। पहले इन्होंने हिंदू मुसलमान को लड़ाया, अब ये आपस में गुजर और पहाड़ी को लड़ाना चाहते हैं। मेरी आप सबसे गुजारिश है, ये लड़ना झगड़ना बंद कर लीजिए। जो जिसकी किस्मत में है उसको मिलेगा।
My colleague, our Bureau Chief Mufti Islah is with us on the phone this morning to bring us a lot more in terms of context. Mufti, good morning. Mufti, 2 separate questions for you. We'll start simply by asking you if you could bring our audiences details this morning about the terror attacks as they took place in Pulwama.
Well, yesterday there was in fact 2 attacks which took place. One where police had in fact got information that there was a militant hiding in Shopian. That happened early in the morning on Sunday. They went in a locality called Imam Sab, And finally, in two long, grueling gun battle, they eventually killed a militant of Lashkar who had in fact fled one of the encounter sites a few days back. So that's one. Two, later in the afternoon, there was a by militants on a Naka party of CRPF as well as police, which was in fact guarding a community picket in Pinglina area of Pulwama. Now, these community pickets are those pickets which guard the minority community, in this case Kashmiri Pandit community, and a cop got killed in that. Special police officer was killed. Javed Ahmed was his name. And there was also a CRPF pen who was there. He got injured in that attack. He was taken to the hospital where doctors are really treating him. That said, two attacks which have taken place. We'd seen last week, in fact, 6 attacks really taking place. 2 encounters before the Sunday event took place in Kulgam, where 3 militants were killed, including a Pakistani. And we saw back-to-back blasts in Udhampur area of Jammu, where sticky bombs were used. Although yesterday police said that they've solved those cases, but that challenge remains because police have come to know that a lot of sticky bombs have really come to Jammu. And from April onwards, we've seen militants using sticky bombs. And in fact, whenever there is a high-profile visit, they just, ramp up the militant activities. That has been seen before. And DGP, who later held a press conference, did say that they've solved this case by arresting a militant from Udhampur area, Mohammad Aslam, who was behind this case, and he was taking dictations from across. He was actually the one who was planting these sticky bombs. So police had actually cracked this case, but as I said, challenges remain because whenever there is a VVIP, visit, these attacks do come to the fore. So clearly, as I said, police really working on many other cases, but the challenge remains.
Mufti, now if you could also explain to our audiences, we've given our audiences a quick summary of why Shah is going to be there and what his big announcement is going to be. But there's a history here to the relationship between the Gujar community and the Pahadi community in the Pir Panjal area. Could you tell our audiences a quick summary of that entire story, please?
Well, yes. To begin with, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is traveling to Jammu and Kashmir. He is going to have spate of meetings. And now he has chosen 2 places, one in Rajouri and another in Baramulla, which is in the valley, where he is going to address the Pahadi community, for whom he is likely to make an announcement that they would be given scheduled tribe status. Now, scheduled tribe status gives some kind of a reservation to the Pahadi community, be it the jobs, be it scholarships or in education. So that kind of, helps them in moving ahead in their careers. But that said, there's been a lot of tension between the Gujars, which is another tribe, as well as the Pahadis. Because in the past, what the successive governments had done, mainly the National Conference, which ruled most of the time in Jammu and Kashmir, they had given the scheduled tribe status to Gujars only. Now, Gujars are people who are nomadic people who move from one place to another and, in fact, take the flocks along with the Bakarwal community, which is another community. Now, Pahadis were denied this, although they'd been very persistent with this demand that they should also be given scheduled tribe status. Now, because the Union Home Ministry has decided that they're going to likely announce the same, same thing, same status to the Pahadis, the Gujars are feeling slightly, they slightly hurt by what the government is trying to do. But Pahadis have been saying that, well, they also form a large chunk of population, and why should they be denied this? So based on this, the Union Home Ministry as well as the LG administration here had decided that they would now grant the same status to the Pahadi communities, and this has kind of irked the Pahadis as well as Gujars. We've seen in Pir Panjal, which essentially is Rajouri and Poonch, the bordering regions of the state. There's some tension because of this, and already the Pahadis have started to join BJP, which is to the consternation of the Gujar community. So that kind of explains why Mehbooba yesterday said that they should, stick as brothers. But because of this, there's a lot of tension in that area.
Mufti Islah, thank you so much for providing us with that context on that story. For our audiences, we're going to be tracking that story. Remember, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, set to visit the region tomorrow. That's when those two visits and those announcements are set to take place. We're going to be tracking that story through